heading Speaker Pro Tem. No, Speaker Pro Tem. This is the Speaker Pro Tem. B. Mahtab. See, he is being appointed by who? President. Speaker Pro Tem. Please write below Pro Tem for the time being. For the time being. That's the meaning of this word. The word is actually pro tempore. This is the word. And this means for the time being. All okay? Done? Great. So that's it for our Speaker Pro Tempore. Now, first point below. Appointed by President. Who also administers oath. Who also administers oath. Second point, usually senior most MP. Usually senior most MP. Will I write? Example 2024. B. Mahtab. B. Mahtab. He is a 7-time MP from Cuttack. Okay. Now below that write purpose. What's the purpose of this fellow? Purpose number 1. Oath to new MPs. Oath to new MPs. Oath to new MPs. Number 2. Conduct election for new speaker. Conduct election for new speaker. Clear? Okay. So this is with respect to our Speaker Pro Tem. Now comes the point, functions. What are the functions performed by the speakers? Heading, functions. Pro Tem is done. Now back to our speaker, functions. So see, speaker is the boss of the house. Okay. Please understand, the speaker is the boss of the house, and without the speaker's permission, the house will not run. It is the duty of the speaker to maintain decorum in the house. Okay. If the speaker allows you to speak, only then can you speak. Otherwise you can't. You can keep on shouting. Nothing goes on record. Okay. But again, in today's day and age, this makes no sense. Back in 1990s, when the live debates were not televised, then it made sense, because what was happening in the parliament, we could not know unless we saw the discussions, daily debates. But now we already have live transmission of the debates. So it makes no sense. MPs, that's why MPs keep on shouting, because they know that people will hear it and memes can be made out of it. That is sufficient. But officially, you cannot speak anything without the permission of speaker. So we say you have to catch the attention of the speaker. If the speaker asks you to speak, feel free. If not, no chance. That also ensure that speaker should be unbiased, right? And that is why it's a very tricky kind of situation. Somebody also remarked on this, that you should always constantly talk to the speaker only and look towards the speaker only. Okay, MPs, ministers are not allowed to discuss amongst themselves. If an MP asks a question from some minister, the MP will ask the question via the speaker to the minister, and the minister also responds to the speaker. Okay, so you don't respond to the MP directly. Every interaction happens via the speaker. Think of speaker like the kid in the family when the couple are fighting. Kid is the one through whom the parents talk to each other. Speaker is that kid, but here the speaker has power. Okay. Now speaker also can allow for a secret sitting of the house. If the leader of the house wants to discuss something very important which they don't want to be televised, etc., then secret sitting can be conducted. In a secret sitting, outsiders are not allowed, meaning non-members are not allowed. So I think I had shown you the diagram also of how in the gallery the outsiders can sit. In a secret sitting, those people are not allowed. Media not allowed. It does not happen normally. For example, in Madhya Pradesh, it happened around 15 years back when the MLAs wanted to discuss something about how to take care of the Maoist issue. Of course, you can't discuss this publicly, that these are the steps we'll take, or else Maoists will come to know. So I think that is one good thing this government has done. It has almost ended Maoism in the country. I think if anything, this government must be lauded for taking that problem seriously, and Maoism is almost towards its end, thankfully. Though not in the hearts of left-wing people, but at least physically on the ground, it is over. So we might not see security forces being killed, etc. at such frequent level. These Maoists also, internal security is done? No? Okay then. We will discuss there in detail on how these Maoists have prevented any kind of growth and development in the tribal areas and have caused havoc in the country everywhere. But yes, their ideals still are alive, very much alive. In there's a term that people use nowadays called urban Naxal and all. So yeah, that is true. The left-wingers, the brainless people are left-wingers actually. People see a very simple way to spot a left-wing person. He has zero knowledge and 100% confidence, okay, about his fake knowledge. So that is a left-wing person. But anyway, coming back to this. So in MP, they had this discussion, a secret sitting. Also, speakers don't, in our country, speak or express their point of view. They are supposed to be neutral. So speakers don't vote also. If a proposal or bill comes, only the members will vote. Speakers only vote in one case. That's called a casting vote. What is a casting vote? Tiebreaker. If MPs vote on a bill and 200 MPs say yes, 200 say no, then the speaker gets to vote. Otherwise, he or she will not vote. And that's a strange thing, right? We still call them speaker, but they can't speak. And yet they are the ones called speaker. Why is that the case? If you can't speak, don't call yourself a speaker. This is also borrowed from UK. So in UK, speaker was a person who was authorized to speak in front of the crown. So whatever decision was taken by the house collectively, the speaker would go and inform the king or queen about the decision. And since he or she was the only authorized person to speak in front of the crown, hence he was called speaker. We have copied the term without any logic. So in our country, speakers don't speak but are still called speakers. Apart from it, some other factors also, like the speaker in the house, whatever rules, regulations, laws exist, the speaker decides. In fact, the speaker is the final interpreter of every rule, regulation in the house and also the Constitution of India in the house. Of course, we know very well who is the final interpreter of the Constitution. Supreme Court. But within the house, speaker is the boss. Okay. Every house has its own rule book called Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business. It's popularly called Lok Sabha rules and Raj Sabha rules. The speaker has full power to interpret the rules, add new things, etc. They basically govern the house comprehensively. Okay. Also, one point we'll discuss in a couple of days. Speaker presides over the joint sitting of the house. If a joint sitting takes place for certain reasons, speaker presides. And number two, there is a certain type of bill called money bill. The speaker decides whether a bill is a money bill or not. Two special features of speaker, which are not available to the presiding officer of Rajya Sabha. Clear? Write these functions now. Time for a favorite exercise, writing. First point, maintains, number one, maintains order and decorum. DECORUM. Maintains order and decorum in the house. In the house. Second point, final interpreter, INTERPRETER, final interpreter of, and write subpoints. Final interpreter of, number one, Constitution of India. This is your point. Final interpreter of Constitution of India. Lok Sabha rules. Lok Sabha rules. Customs/conventions. In the house, write like this. In the house, final interpreter of all these things in the house. This Lok Sabha rules, the actual name is Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha. That's the full name of the booklet. Okay, it's green in color. So you can see, this is the, let's not see their personal messages. You don't have to download this book, not required, don't worry. What the hell is this? Learner's license. Okay, we have it here, I think. Okay, this is that rule book. So, the new edition has changed the front cover. I don't know why they changed the color of this. Earlier it was green in color. So now they have changed the color to maybe lavender or whatever shade, we don't know. So this is where you have a lot of rules mentioned on how the house starts, what kind of motions are there, how to take oath, how are the speakers elected. The point I mentioned that the speaker election requires one proposer, one seconder is mentioned in this rule only. Are you clear? Don't download this, not required for the exam. So this is what is the rules of procedure and conduct of business in the Lok Sabha. You have a similar kind of rule for Rajya Sabha also. Same name called Rajya Sabha rules. Okay. Let's come back. Now, third point. Third point, second point. Third, okay, third point. He adjourns the house. He adjourns. You know adjourns? Adjournment. What is adjournment? Ending the sitting is adjournment. If the date of next meeting is not fixed, what is it called? Adjournment signed by. Okay. He adjourns the house or suspends the meeting or suspends the meeting in the absence of quorum. In the absence of quorum. Full stop. What is quorum? See, every day you have to have at least some MPs present to run the session or sitting. If only 5 MPs come today, then we can't run the session. Like in your school, college days, if mass bunking happens, only toppers come. Toppers will go every day, teachers' favorites. But the logic is if only 2 people come, the session has to be cancelled. Same thing here. So here the quorum is actually 1/10 of total membership, right in bracket. This is mentioned in Article 100. This is the quorum. 1/10 of total membership, which means how much? What is the total membership? 543. 1/10 is how much? 0.3. We can't have 0.3 human being, right? Brain wise possible, but otherwise not possible. So 55. This is the quorum of Lok Sabha. If we have less than 55 MPs, the sitting will have to be suspended. Clear? Next point. He does not vote in the first instance. He does not vote in the first instance. Full stop. But he can exercise casting vote. Please underline this phrase. Casting vote. In case of a tie. In case of a tie. Actually, casting vote is called a tiebreaker vote only. That's the meaning of casting vote. Next point. Presides over joint sitting. Presides over joint sitting of the 2 houses. Presides over joint sitting of the 2 houses. In bracket write Article 108. Article 108. Next point. He can allow a secret sitting. He can allow a secret sitting of the house. He can allow a secret sitting of the house at the request of leader of house. Leader of the house. Done? Next point. He decides whether a bill is a money bill or not. Whether a bill is a money bill or not. And his decision on this matter is final. And his decision on this matter is final. Just to clarify, nothing is final. Supreme Court has said nothing is final. We decide what is final. Okay. So below this write a subpoint. Under the same point, a subpoint. However, in the Raja Rampal case, in the Raja Rampal 2007, SC directed that the decision of the speaker is subject to the decision of the speaker is subject to what? Judicial review. Is subject to judicial review. Done. And one last point. Now change last point. Point number 8, 9. What is that? 8. Okay, 8 point. He decides on disqualification of MP. Disqualification of MPs on ground of, he decides on disqualification of MPs on ground of defection. Just write this point for now. We'll discuss once the chapter Parliament is over. We'll discuss this law called anti-defection law. Defection. What is meant by defection? Disloyalty. You know loyalty? How will you know loyalty? It's an old term. Okay. So, disloyalty. Disloyalty means you are disloyal to your party. If you change your party, there are laws to prevent you from changing parties under certain circumstances. We'll discuss all that later on. Okay. So, these are the functions of speaker. Now, I think you can understand that speaker is very important in the house, because if the speaker does not allow, the opposition cannot speak and ask questions. So, we also want to ensure independence of speaker. Clear? Heading. Independence of speaker. So, in our country, we already have a lot of provisions to ensure independence of speaker. That speakers can work freely without the control of the government. See, one way to simply ensure independence of any person is to have their salary as charge expenditure. Okay, what is charge expenditure? No voting. This means you can't reject it. It has to be given. Government cannot modify it. So the salary of speaker is charged on CFI. First point. Salary / allowances dash salary allowances charged on CFI. Okay. Number 2, to ensure his independence, we also give him only a casting vote. Otherwise, he is not to express his opinion on issues. Casting vote. Next. So, normally you cannot discuss the conduct of speaker in the house unless removal is going on. So, you can't get up and say, Speaker, I want to criticize your behavior only. That is not allowed. Okay. Next point, please write. His conduct cannot be discussed. His conduct cannot be discussed / criticized. His conduct cannot be discussed / criticized in the Lok Sabha. In the Lok Sabha, unless his removal is under consideration. Unless his removal is under consideration. Okay. And one more point, please. He is exempted under Schedule 10. He is exempted. Exempted under Schedule 10. What is the Schedule 10? We'll discuss later on. To give you a very brief on this. Normally, MPs cannot leave their party, but speakers are allowed to resign from their party. In fact, it is a good sign. Once you resign from your party, you are seen as more independent. Okay? But in our country, no speaker resigns from the party. But they can. That's my point. Okay? So these are steps that we have. Add one more point below that. That's also an independent provision only. Difficult process of removal. Difficult process of removal. Removal requires an effective majority, slightly more difficult to obtain. Difficult process of removal. Okay, so these are steps to ensure independence of Speaker. Now in some other countries like UK, because we have borrowed the parliamentary system from UK only. See, in USA, they also have a Speaker in their lower house, which is called House of Representatives. But in USA, the Speaker of the House is actually biased. It is allowed that the Speaker pushes his party agenda in the House. But in parliamentary form of government, speakers are independent. So a very good case study would be what happens in UK.